What's up, YouTube fans? Today I want to take a look at the Unique Toys Sworder, or their version of a Masterpiece Scale Sandstorm. So this is an older figure. This was originally released in 2016. They've just re-released it in 2024. So I decided to get a copy of it, especially for the price point they were releasing it. I think it was 80 bucks for this guy, which is a Masterpiece Scale triple changer. And I know we're getting the Legacy version soon, but that's not Masterpiece Scale. So I figured let me pick this up and see how it is. And I am definitely happy with it so far. But one thing I wanted to mention is, if you didn't know, DX9 is back on the third-party scene. They've been out for a while. They actually announced that they were leaving. And Unique Toys and DX9 are actually one and the same company, basically two different teams. And so the fact that they're reissuing all these older DX9 Unique Toys figures really is to help them fund new projects like that Prowl that we saw images of recently. So I'm excited to see a third-party company back in the game. I really like DX9. I have some of their figures in my collection, so happy to see them back. But let's take a look at this guy. Now, one reason I didn't pick it up for so long with the G1 image there is he doesn't quite look like the G1 image in almost any mode. They do have a pretty nice head sculpt on it, painted in white and then blue for the eyes. But a lot of the body and the overall sculpt just doesn't look like Sandstorm. But you have some nice details. You got the blue here on the sides. You got silver for this belt here, and silver for the, I guess, front hip skirts. On the legs, you have silver here on the shins. Silver paint here on the arms. On the back, it cleans up really nicely. Everything's nice and tight on this. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about. Since it's a reissue, sometimes these reissues can be really junky. This is really good, really solid. Nothing moves on him. Everything, all the joints are nice and tight. So that's great to see. Let's go over the articulation on this guy. The head is on a rotating swivel. It goes up to there, down to there, rotates all the way around. No side to side on it, but pretty good head sculpt there. The shoulders rotate around on a friction joint, out to the side on a ratchet joint. You have a rotation at the bicep, rotation at the elbow. You get a 90-degree bend at the elbow, but it's a very awkward bend because it's a high elbow, so it looks a little weird when you bend it. But it is a ratchet. There's two clicks on that ratchet. Your rotation at the wrist, individually articulated fingers. I'm sorry, that's not true. You have one pointer finger, which is curled, and then the other three are on their own together. Coming down the waist, you have a no waist rotation. You have a waist rotation here, down below, kind of like above his legs. No ab crunch or anything on this guy, just due to the design. The legs will kick up to there on a ratchet, soft ratchet. Back to there on that soft ratchet. Out to the side on friction, but again, like I mentioned, nice and tight. And if it's not tight on yours, you could just loosen and retighten that screw, but that holds nicely. Rotation at the thigh around a cut joint. You have an 90-degree bend at the knee. You have a rotation at the knee. Ankle tilts all the way out to there. And you get a little bit of forward and backward just due to the design. As far as accessories, you get his blaster just done in black plastic here. You can fold up the handle and store it right here on his foot if you want to. But obviously it makes more sense to put it in his hand. And it's typical Masterpiece style fashion, just tabs in to the inside of the palm. And it's a good looking gun. I just wish his elbow wasn't so high. It looks a little awkward holding it, but here you go for that. You also get these swords, which have some nice silver paint on the front. And you get 4 of them because each of them are a helicopter blade, but you can put those in his hand as well. And this one doesn't tab in, but he holds it nice and secure. It's not going anywhere. There you go. For the other 3, you can stow them away. So there's a little slot right here, circular slot. And make sure this is untabbed from that. But you're going to tab it into the side of his engine or helicopter rotor here. Same on this one. Tab it into the side. And then you have that. And then if you come to the legs, there's another tab right there. And you can have this plugged in this time. And then that'll fit right there on the side of the leg. And there you go, you can store everything. And one other accessory I forgot to mention is this little wheel here, which I think is that one of those things from that one scene from the one episode, but it doesn't really attach anywhere in any of the modes. I did notice there's a little peg here. I don't think it's meant to go here, but it does peg into there. You can store it on the inside of the foot, but it does make him unbalanced because it's not meant to go there. It sticks out a little bit, so not really useful for anything. You can just put it in his hand, have him hold it so you can recreate the scene, but for the most part, a useless accessory. And for quick size comparison, there it is next to the DX9 Carry. This is my custom version. And then the Magic Square Optimus Prime. And it comes in a little bit shorter. It fits in nicely. I actually like this size for the robot mode. I think it looks quite right with the MP scale. A little bit shorter than Rodimus Prime here. Now, I don't know how it looks with the MP Rodimus. I don't have that one, but there you go for comparison. All right, now let's get Swarter transformed into his vehicle mode. Since this is an older figure and it's going to make the video quite long, I'm going to do a transformation probably in a separate video, and I'll just get this transformed. The main purpose of this review is to show you how this reissue performs, how nice it is in all three modes. So I'll save you the time and we'll just get him transformed off camera and we'll be right back. All right, and there's Swarter in his vehicle mode. And it looks like a vehicle, sort of, but it's very, I don't know. It does roll, but, you know, it kind of doesn't look quite like a vehicle. It doesn't look like the dune buggy anyway, from the cartoon, which I'll put up there. It does have a nice translucent blue cockpit here. The light rack here on the front. It's got headlights here, but those result in a hole behind it, so I don't know. Not the best. Here's the back. You got tail lights at least. But yeah, not the best looking dune buggy. You can take the gun. There's a little hole in the bottom that'll plug in to that peg right here. And you can actually rotate it. No, it's nice. If you come to the bottom, you can store these, the weapons down here. And you can put all four on, but I will just tell you now, it's not really worth the effort because they rub on the ground. Even if you get them pegged in all the way, they kind of touch the ground. So not really worth the effort to store those down there. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Magic Square Optimus Prime. And it does fit in nicely as a vehicle, although it doesn't look like a great vehicle. And I forgot to mention, they didn't paint the rear view mirrors on this copy, or this reissue, so they should be silver. I just realized that when I looked at this guy, but there you go for sense of size. And there is Swarter in his helicopter mode. And it does look really nice. I really like the look of it overall, but it really doesn't look like the alt mode of the character. I'll put the image there so you can take a look. It does have a nice translucent blue glass here for the cockpit, metallic blue here for the side windows, silver paint here for the engines, and then little silver details and accents all throughout. Here in the back, here on the sides, intakes, that kind of thing. Got some blue windows here, which are on the bottom. It's fine. Looks okay. You can spin the rear tail fin as well as the main rotor. So that all works nicely. It does have wheels. It rolls on those wheels surprisingly well. And you can, of course, take the gun. That will plug in right here on the side. And actually, that looks good too. So overall, it's a really nice looking version. It just doesn't really fit the cartoon. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. And it does come in a little bit on the small side, but I'm okay with it. I just like the look of the alt mode overall. So final recommendations on the Unique Toys Swarter 2024 reissue. It's pretty good. I'm going to give it a 4 to 5. So a soft recommend, but I'm going to recommend it. It performs in all three modes. You can transform it. Nothing seems like it's going to break. It's pretty solid. Feels good. Plastic quality is pretty nice. The accessories work. Everything plugs in with the exception of this wheel thing. But other than that, everything really is nice and works well. I think where this figure failed and why people didn't buy it when it first came out is it just doesn't look quite like the character, right? There's some cues, and that's kind of the direction that Masterpiece has gone. They've gone more of a super tune accurate. This one was more back in the day when things were stylized, and nowadays that doesn't appeal, I think, as much. Now, the funny thing is this went crazy on the aftermarket and got really expensive, and then Unique Toys probably saw like, hey, we can reissue this and make some money. So I'm glad they reissued it, because I was never going to buy this for that other price. But for the money, for the price that they're charging now, definitely worth it for a Masterpiece scale version of Sandstorm. For me, good enough for now. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.